Imagine standing on the edge of the 1960s, looking up at a sky full of rockets and dreams. Arthur C. Clarke peers forward, not just seeing the next decade, but the distant, shimmering possibilities of the future. What if spaceships weren't just vessels, but gateways to new civilizations? What if today's impossibilities become tomorrow's playgrounds? Clarke dares us to imagine beyond the horizon, but what stands between us and that future? Let's unravel his visions and the hazards we still face. Clarke warns us that foreseeing the future is a trap full of pitfalls. The two biggest risks, fear and forgetfulness, about what we really can imagine and what we fail to dream up. Clarke recalls the initial skepticism toward space travel when he wrote these essays between 1959 and 1961. Despite early rocket successes, many experts doubted human spaceflight would ever be practical. This failure of nerve meant society hesitated, slowed funding, and missed critical windows. It's like watching a runner stop at the edge of a finish line, too afraid to sprint the last meters, and losing the race. He argues that our imagination isn't infinite. It's bounded by cultural, social, and personal constraints. Think of it as a cage built from yesterday's dreams. The past walls limit what tomorrow's architects can draft. Clarke insists expanding our mental horizons is more vital than crunching data because the greatest hazard in the future is the failure of imagination. Seen through Clarke's lens, technology doesn't just solve problems, it warps our relationship with time. Take telecommunications. Suddenly, continents shrink and distance evaporates. This collapse of space and time fractures traditional progress timelines and opens new eras, like moving from walking to teleporting in mental speed. What seems impossible today may become ordinary tomorrow. Clarke paints a universe where we're not earthbound creatures anymore. But the journey from hobbling on dirt to floating in zero-G isn't just tech. It's a revolution in how we move, live, and think. Even back then, Clarke spotted something obvious yet revolutionary. Air travel was shrinking the planet. By 1962, commercial jets already shaved days off international trips. He tells vivid stories about the Boeing 707 transforming global business and family ties, making the world smaller and more intimate. Imagine your grandfather's first transatlantic flight, a miracle that now feels like a subway ride. One of Clarke's boldest ideas was the space elevator, a cable stretching from Earth to geostationary orbit, ferrying cargo and people efficiently. He compares it to a towering escalator to the stars. Unlike messy rocket launches, this promises a lifting mechanism almost routine and accessible, turning our breakneck chase for fuel into a steady climb. The dream is part engineering, part poetry, the promise of daily space commuting. He imagines this access to space sparking a rocket renaissance, not just science, but culture reawakened by new frontiers. Think of the Renaissance artists and thinkers unleashed by the printing press. Clarke saw astronauts and space habitats as hubs for new philosophies, arts, even political freedoms. Space isn't just the final frontier, but a crucible for reinventing humanity. Clarke doesn't stop at machines or travel. He dives into the mind where the greatest transformation waits. What happens when brains and bodies change or become obsolete? Clarke envisions a time when human intelligence merges with machines, a seamless blend where thoughts compute at the speed of electrons. He shares early speculations about brain-computer interfaces, not just science fiction but plausible evolution. This isn't losing humanity, it's upgrading consciousness, like swapping a horse for a sleek sports car. Imagine intelligence not bottled in flesh but streaming freely. The book confronts a radical idea. Humans themselves might become obsolete as machines grow smarter and bodies frail. Clarke is clear-eyed, warning of a long twilight where human dominance fades. But it's less a downfall than a transformation, new kinds of beings, new purposes, no longer anchored to earthly frailties. This is humanity spinning forward, even if the shape is strange. Finally, Clarke touches on communication, voices from satellites, space vehicles, and novel signals, connecting minds across chances and galaxies. These voices herald not only technological marvels but an expanded social fabric, linking isolated humanity into a cosmic conversation. It's less about technology and more about weaving our collective story ever wider, beyond ancestral dirt. Remember standing by that launching rocket? Clarke's future is still our future if we keep dreaming and daring. The hazards remain, but so do the opportunities. So here's your move. Next time you catch yourself saying that's impossible, Pause. Stretch your imagination just a little further, and suddenly the impossible starts looking like tomorrow's usual. Your future's waiting, time to shape it. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.